So hi, welcome to the Noise Podcast. I'm Shane.
I'm Glory.
And we're here with...
I'm Blake Bedsaul from Saul.
And we're going to have some questions to say about the upcoming album. This is it, the end of everything. So congrats on that, by the way. How do you feel about the response to the announcement so far?
Great. The response of the new single so far has been awesome. And so far we did our one like Grat track, our single Jack and Jill right off the bat, but that response was great. But with A Million Miles, Tooth and Nail, and Better as a Memory, yeah, we really feel like we're leaning into it, and the response has been awesome.
Hell yeah. Well, this album rocks.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Hell yeah. So is there any meaning behind the album title or cover art?
Yes. One thing we did try to lean into is one thing I wanted to focus on is our S logo, like you see right behind me here, is I wanted to make that always a constant when it comes to the album covers, is always having that, even though like this is at the end of everything's like scribbled over it, almost like in a paint, like a frantic sort of thing. So we're going to try to keep that a constant when it comes to the album artwork. But when it comes to the title of the album, we really lean into it with the song A Million Miles, meaning like everybody's so focused on like their personal appearance and like what they're doing for social media, and like generally, you can spin it away to everything always looks great, everything's perfect, oh my life's that whole kind of mentality, even though they're dealing with their own mental issues and their own struggles paying bills and the whole thing, just living your life. So that's really the concept of it, and I leaned into it real hard when it comes to like my daughter who just turned 14, and the idea of like not everything's always so perfect, not everything's great. You see mom and dad struggling, you see all this stuff struggling. So when you see somebody on Facebook or TikTok or Instagram that's always on vacation doing something grandiose, it's not really like that, because people are always struggling with stuff, and just kind of trying to paint that picture for her, and like how everybody's so tied into that, and like we don't have to do that so much. We can be just as happy, just living in the moment. You don't always have to capture it on your phone.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
it's a great thing to.
And I'm glad that you guys are really like diving into that topic, because it feels like in this day and age, if you're not posting, it didn't happen.
Yeah.
Exactly. Even though, I can come back and tell you the story. It's just like, yeah, but is it Instagram official? Did you really TikTok it? You know what I mean? So like, it's really, it's a hard thing to do, and like TikTok and Instagram, Facebook, it's not really my jam. I don't really care for that. I like to live in the moment and, just have the conversation. So it's really hard for me to, bring that into my life and be more of a thing that I do. So.
Yeah. So do you struggle with like bringing in the short form video content and all that shit, like with the promotion of the band?
Very much so. It's a constant conversation that we have with the label and management, but I don't even think about it when I'm doing something. Like if I'm in the moment, programming lights or doing something like that, they're like, catch a couple minutes of it. And it's like, when I'm in the moment, I'm not even thinking about catching a couple minutes of it. And occasionally I do, but generally it just doesn't even cross my mind. I'm just working, Yeah,
exactly.
That's the thing that I've struggled with the bands that I work with, is like, you've got to capture the shit, because like that's what the people want to see, but they're like, we're not even thinking about that, because like we're just doing what we're supposed to do, and we don't want a camera in our fucking faces all day. And like I totally get that. Yeah. So can you tell us a little bit about your writing process for this album?
Yeah, this album was this album was great. It was actually so much fun to actually do. We worked with our good friend Kyle Odell. We were down in Nashville for about 45 days doing this record. We just did it in one big spiel. But it was great. We really wanted to dive in with him. One of his specialties is like a post-production stuff where we add in a little more nuances of like electronic stuff and like, some sound effects, just cool stuff that, really isn't the meat and potatoes, but we really like it being in there. And it's something we didn't do a whole lot of on the last record. There's some tastes of it, but this new record, we really dove in on that and really tried to make that a staple in the new sound. But it was great. Every song had a different flair. Every song was different, actually, when we came up with it, how we came up with it, it was just everybody had their say. Everybody was jiving and like camaraderie was great. Everybody just went in there with no expectations, no idea officially in mind. It was just specific songs that when we started dive into them, this is what this is about. This is what this is about. You know what I mean? And just going down the line of doing that. And, it was a really great experience. And, we will be working with Kyle Odell again, and our previous record with Chris Dawson, we'll be working with him again in the future as well.
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
Hell yeah, awesome. So what song off this album took longest to write, and which one is your personal favorite?
Ooh, okay. The one that probably took the longest to write, probably Us AD. That song was really, so in 2019, Zach and I, the guitar player and myself, we're brothers. So we lost our mom in 2019 from brain and lung cancer. And it's one thing we tried to dive into on the Rises Equals record, but it was really hard. It was a little too fresh. And so this song is really, it's Us After Death is the title of the track, Us AD. And we're really writing it from my dad's perspective of like, leaving the front light on, hoping you'd come home. This was supposed to be our love ever after, our love story. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. And really writing it from his perspective. And it was really hard. And like, there's some lyrics in there that when I said them to the guys, as we're writing, I'm like, it's okay to leave, and stay and stuff like that. Everybody was like, whoa, this it's almost too real. It hits really hard. So that was probably the hardest song to write and the longest to write, just because we wanted to get it right. We wanted to make sure it said what we wanted to say. And probably the fastest song that we wrote was the last song on the record, which was Runaway. And at that point, being in the studio, it was cool. I was finishing up a couple tracks on vocals. I just had some harmonies and stuff to do. And Zach's like, I got this idea. I'm going to head back to the hotel. I'm going to scratch something out and bring it back. So we're like, sweet. I'm finishing up vocals. He comes back, a couple hours later. He has the entire music bed done for Runaway. And we're like, sweet, this is awesome. And so it was all scratch guitar and stuff. So we went in and we officially, tracked the guitars and, and redid the drums and all that stuff. And it was just like, he's like, do you have an idea in mind? I'm like, I'm running. I got to get the heck out of the studio. You know what I mean? Like, I'm running for myself. I got to get out of here, And so it just balled into this idea of Runaway. And like, it turned out it's my favorite track on the record, as weird as it is. And it was the fastest. We did it in like all the whole track in like 30 minutes, 40 minutes. Wow. And God. It was just boom, 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 boom. We got it done. We're like, all right, see you later. We're out of here. And like, it just turned out great.
That's fucking awesome. Is the writing process typically lean more on something like that, 30, 40 minutes, or is it more of like the mulling over and the, spending a lot of time getting it right kind of thing?
Mm-hmm.
Generally, it's a lot of mulling it over and like just making sure, saying what we want to say in the proper way. And that's really a main focus for us, because generally the music will come out exactly how it comes out. Like, this is what we're doing. And like, it's not like we go in there knowing what we're going to do, but once we start rapping into it, and it just starts to, it starts to create itself, like, this is what we're going to do. But it takes a while to make sure we get the lyrics right, because melodies, you can make 100 different melodies over the same chord progression, but making sure we get that right. But the lyrics is the main focus when it comes to the mulling it over. Yeah. And everybody, when we're writing, has a say. I might come up with the concept, of Runaway, but I'm like, treat me like a runaway because I'm vanishing and I don't think I'll be missed. And everybody's like, oh, I love that lyric. And then I'm like, what am I going to say on the verse? And like, I'll come up with a couple lines. I'm like, I'm having a tough time coming up with the third line. Miles or Zach could be like, what about this? I'm like, oh yeah, that's great. You know what I mean? So It's definitely a group effort, and we want everybody to be involved. And like, it's just, with us, the best idea wins. That's it.
Makes sense.
Sure.
And on the writing process, you guys, this was all written in the studio. That's kind of what I'm gathering.
Yes. Yep.
Okay. Is that typically how it goes? Like, or is there ever a time where ideas are brought into the studio before the writing process kind of officially begins?
Yeah, we do that. We did a lot more of that on the Rises Equals record. This one, we went in and pretty much we just decided to go ground up while we were in the studio. We brought in a couple ideas and like some riffs, that we used in the record, but we didn't come in with like songs or like full songs, half songs, anything like that. We just wanted to come ground up and then just, woodshed it while we're right in there, while we're in the thick of it.
All right, that makes sense.
Sure.
So how'd the track list for the album come about? Did you guys write the opener be the opener, closer be the closer? Did you shuffle around and see what fits? What was that process like?
Generally, when it comes to we didn't have anything specifically in mind when it came to the track listing, and we didn't do start to finish with the track listing. They really kind of bounced around, and generally, we leave the track listing to the record to our bass player Will. It's just kind of something he likes to do, and we're fine with the way it turns out.
Fair enough.
Okay, makes sense.
He's got to have one job, right?
Yeah, I mean, all he does is play just plays the bass. He's got to make him feel like he's part of the band,
Right, yeah.
So would you be able to tell us where Headspace is at while you were creating this record?
Yeah. The headspace was "Don't Mess It Up." We're coming off our debut record, so this is our sophomore record, and we just wanted to make something great, and like not to the point of like beating ourselves up over it or anything like that, because we just wanted to create the best songs we could create, and that was it. That was the entire focus, and it wasn't about one single person or one single player in the band. It was just like, let's make the best songs we can make, and that's really just what we focused on.
Oh yeah, love that.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you recommend your fans to listen to this album for the first time? Should you do in the car with friends in the dark with headphones on? Is a workout album, party album? What do you personally recommend?
I would probably say headphones on. That's personally the way I like to listen to it. Or, I mean, just crank it up and just sit back and for the first time, just listen to it. And like, I hope people really listen to the lyrics of this record, because every song on this record has a different flavor. And literally everything we write from the first record to the first EP to this record is all life experiences, is stuff that if you dive into it and you get to know us at all or research us at all, it's real life experiences that we've gone through. And I'm not a man that really talks about his emotions, but I definitely have every single one of my emotions and my thoughts into these songs.
So like with that kind of being your safe haven, is there like any sort of anxiety putting those emotions out into the world, or like do you feel safe when it's like in a song?
Oh, dude, no, I freak out. No way. I don't like it at all. But I don't know how else to do it. I don't want to do it any other way, but I'm always so nervous that it might get rejected just based on because I don't do that. I don't really talk about my emotion. I really don't, I just kind of bottle things up and I just let it go. And really put it out there and do that stuff. It's always nerve-wracking. Just man, what if they don't like it? What if they don't like it? And so it's always nervous for me.
Yeah. So then, are you one that reads the comments, or do you stay away from that?
It just depends. I do read the comments, and and none of it ever really bothers me. If somebody doesn't like it, there's 100 people behind them that love it.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't bother me.
Okay, makes sense.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. So this one should be super, super quick off the top of your head. I want you to describe this album for new listeners in 3 words. No more, no less.
In 3 words, everything we had. Aww. So we didn't leave anything undone. It's all out there. There's nothing left to say right at the moment. It's 100% out there.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
All right.
That's good. I like that a lot.
So in that same train of thought, is there a certain feeling or emotion you want listeners to have while going through the album?
No. I don't think, I when it comes to music and art in general, I mean, I just hope they have, good emotions. I hope it brings something positive to them, or it brings up, something that we both gone through and both lived through, and like one thing that, Zach and I really try to talk about, and like one thing that is always on the table when we're writing songs is we try to write like lifetime songs, like something that and we experienced it with Brother a lot. We realized we weren't alone, in doing this. So we like to write songs and like where it is from such personal experiences that there's going to be 1,000 other people out there that go like, I experienced the same thing. I did the exact same thing. So that's when, mulling it over the lyrics and getting it right. We try to write those songs that, pinpoint, somebody's that moment in their life right then.
Oh yeah. All right.
Absolutely. So are you able to touch on any particularly challenging or standout moments from the creation of this album, positive or negative?
All of it was pretty positive. I mean, I don't think we really had a moment that was, nothing to write home about. The typical brothers bickering, you know what I mean, and like, that typical stuff. But I mean, he's my best friend. He's my brother. He's my only bandmate I've ever had. So and it's funny, especially working on the first record. Chris Dawson, he's a single child. So when he saw Zach and I bickering in the studio and like, one of us goes like, oh man, you're in charge. I'm out of here. Screw this, like whatever, storm out, whatever, get a cup of coffee. And he's like, man, the band's breaking up. He's like, the band just broke up. And Will sitting there is like, no, dude. He's like, this is every 15 minutes. You know exactly. What I mean? So he's like, you just haven't been around him long enough. So nothing besides that typical brother stuff that, it's every 15 minutes.
Yeah,
that's very good to hear.
Oh yeah. So for this question, we want you to picture you're on tour, you're at a gas station for a rest stop. What is your snack of choice?
Peppered beef jerky.
Ooh, damn right. Hell yeah.
That's my jam. Yep.
Oh yeah.
I fuck with it. So on the topic of food, if the band was a dish, what dish would the band be and why?
Oh man, it's got to be a Midwest dish, that's for sure. Something like I don't know, like tater tot casserole or something. It's got to be like that. We're all just piled up in there. Man, it's got to be something like that. It's got to be some sort of casserole. You know what I mean? It's just where everything's all thrown together and it's delicious.
What is tater tot casserole? I've never heard of that before.
You never heard of it? Okay,
no.
Some people call it like potato nugget hot dish. That's what they call it in like Minnesota. I don't know. It's like I don't know. It's like hamburger and like corn and green beans, cream and mushroom soup, and like cheese, and then you top it with tater tots and then bake it, and it's delicious.
That must not hit the East Coast. Never heard of it.
I've never heard of that.
No. Or like chili and cinnamon rolls. That's a Midwest thing.
Wow,
are you fucking with me right now?
No, that's serious. That's serious. We grew up eating in school. Chili with cinnamon rolls.
Chili like chili like beans.
Yeah, bowl of chili with a cinnamon roll on the side, and then you scoop up some chili with a cinnamon roll.
Cinnamon roll meaning like pastry with like cinnamon and frosting.
You bet.
Honestly, the more you talk about it, that honestly sounds like banger as fuck.
Don't entertain this. Don't entertain this insanity. This is actually crazy.
Yeah, you gotta try it. It's a total Midwest thing.
Yeah, like the sweet with the I think I get it now. I think you guys are onto something over there.
Yeah. I'm telling you.
I don't have anything to say. I'm sorry. I can't. I would have to try it myself. That's actually fucking crazy. Wow. If it's good.
Yeah. It's good.
All right.
Okay.
And for the last couple of questions, we're going to shift completely away from music. So if you could be one animal for the rest of your life, what animal would you be and why?
Cat would be pretty sweet. You can do whatever you want. People take care of you. I love cats. I have one. Man, probably like a house cat would be pretty sweet. Plus, I mean, like per capita, like for like standards, like they're like the best hunters too. They catch the most things. So like, I mean, that's pretty sweet. My cat's pretty baller too. So I'd probably say house cat.
All right.
Hell yeah. So if you could have lunch with any celebrity or artist, dead or alive, who would it be and why?
Man, maybe like Hunter S. Thompson. That'd be pretty cool. That'd be pretty interesting. But lunch would probably consist of like acid. So something like that. Really get to know him on a personal level. That might be pretty cool. I would like to sit down and have some wine with like Mayor James Keenan, though. He's one of my biggest, influences. I love him.
Mhm.
I would say somebody like Lou Brutus, but I talked to Lou Brutus quite a bit, and like he's such an awesome freaking dude. So
Mhm.
I don't know. I would say like Hunter S. Thompson would
Mhm.
be cool. Man, somebody who's really lived, like he's got great stories.
Yeah.
I just like cool stories. Like
Absolutely.
our merch guy, we have merch time, like story time with Rob, and he just tells us all these history facts, and we love that on the road too. So anybody that's really got a lot of cool history, cool stories.
Oh yeah. All right.
Fuck yeah.
And for this last question, boom, you're on a desert island. You can bring one movie, one album, and one person. Who and what are you bringing?
Oh, okay. Well, the album is going to be 13 Step by Perfect Circle.
Mhm.
The movie, I was going to say Castaway because that's one of my all-time favorites, but I'm already stuck on a desert
I was gonna
island.
say, yeah.
Yeah. So that might not be cool. One movie. Let's see here. Did you guys watch the new Flash, by the way? Because I thought it was pretty good. I don't know what people are complaining about.
I haven't seen it, and I'm gonna be honest, I'm not really interested in seeing it.
Not interested? Yeah.
Mm.
That's fine too.
I'm sorry.
Probably movie. Got one person. Okay, let's see the person. It'll probably be, let's say my wife. Yeah. That'd probably be best to say.
Yeah, in case she's watching,
In case
Exactly.
she catches this. And then I don't know. The movie got. I'm a movie buff. I watch a lot of movies.
Mhm.
Let's see here. One movie I can watch. I really like the movie Live Die Repeat.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a really good one.
Yeah, I think that's a good one. Yeah, let's go with that one.
Hell yeah.
I haven't thought of that one in a while. It's like, it's funny too. Like it's a
Yeah.
solid movie. Yeah.
I love those ideas, like those Groundhog Days. I like those. I like those repeating the day. Like that's kind of what it felt like on tour, which was not a bad thing because it was a great tour we just got off of with Memphis Mayfire, Norma Jean, and Secrets. But we kept walking into the situations where we're like, didn't we just do this? Like it just felt like we were just repeating the same day. So it was cool.
Hell yeah. All right. So as I said, that's all the questions you have today. Is there anything that you would like to plug?
No. Just make sure you go out and get the record. Get everything that you need to get from Saul at saulofficial.com. We got tour coming up with Red in September. It's going to be great. We're hitting a lot of East Coast. And then we're hitting, like, I know people have been begging us to come back to Texas. So we're coming back to Texas for 3 days. Just check it out. Follow us on all the social medias. Everything's Saul Official. Just get out there, follow us, and hopefully you get the new record.
Oh yeah. All right. Well, thank you for sound. It's been Blake from Saul, and we have been the Good Noise Podcast.